Hey, Yuri Bruce team. Just wanted to check in real quick. This is gonna be a quick one. I don't think I'm gonna go for hours. I'm pretty busy today. Uh, Doing a lot of stuff. Got a lot of stuff going on today, but I figured why not just do a quick live? I don't really have an excuse not to. I don't have no plans for any kind of topic. I'm just saying hello. So hello, guys. How you guys doing? Been super busy. I apologize for the lack of posts that are about to happen because I don't think we're gonna post. I'm not sure if we're gonna post Wednesday because I haven't done any editing. Atkins James, what's up? How you doing? Derek F, how you doing, man? Thanks for all your support, man. I appreciate you. Um, yeah, no updates for you guys just yet. I'm just saying hello to everybody. But if you have any questions, if you want to talk about anything about, if you want to talk about immigration stuff, K1Bs, the green card, you want to talk about relationship stuff, yeah, we can do that. No plans on any kind of topic, just saying what's up. Fiance did her interview on Thursday. How'd it go? Did they give you any information on how it went? Because they usually give you some kind of feedback. I mean, I know at least for Yuri, they gave her some kind of a feedback. She kind of has. We had some idea what was going to happen after her interview, um, but she didn't get an approval. Well, I tell you, put it to you like this: she didn't get denied that day. You know, some people they get denied right away, but did they give her any indication on what happened? How did she feel about the interview? Like after Yuri did hers, she felt pretty good about it. I put it to you that way. Just found your channel and loved it. Thanks, man. Thanks, Akin James. Is that? Am I talking to? I'm not sure if you're a guy or girl, but like not like it matters. But um, thanks for watching. Got lots of great content that goes back years. Real talk. This is real talk, man. We try to keep it positive. Um, you know, it goes dark a little bit sometimes. We're just trying to, we're just honest, you know, about how we feel about things. But it's a guy. Okay, sorry, man. Yeah, we just could keep it honest about our relationship and without getting too what do you call it? Too emotional or. I mean, some of them get pretty emotional. We're just, you know, showing our struggles as an international couple, what we've been through and everything. Oh, me and my filipina in the picture. Okay, it's like a real tiny picture. So, oh, that's pretty cool. I see you guys. All right. Yep, man. Just hang in there, man. Some of Yuri and I, our challenges have been like trying to understand each other. You know what I'm saying? Like her understanding me, like in the context of being a an African American man. You know, um, you know, there's there's stuff that goes on with that, you know what I mean? And me understanding her as a Filipina and just understanding like her background, her culture, like where she's coming from, why she feels a certain way, you know, that's been like a big challenge for us. But we got through it because we communicated. I would say that that's like the main thing. Like we're not afraid to talk to each other about how we really feel about things, and that includes like religion, race, like topics you can't just talk to people in Starbucks about. You know what I mean? Like we talk openly and honestly about it, and I don't like what she says all the time. You know, to be honest with you, sometimes and then I just basically explain where I'm coming from, why I feel how I do, you know. And it's not to say that I'm right or wrong. It's just this is how I feel, and here's why, you know. And she listens. Thank God she listens. And then when she talks to me about why she feels a certain way, I listen. And it is not about being right or wrong. It's just that's how she feels, and now understand why. You know what I mean? So man, just hang in there. I mean, for all I know, you guys been married 20 years. You know, Yuri and I's only been married since 2014. So yeah. Instigator, how you doing, man? How's it going? How's married life treating you? How's the old ball and chain? You guys didn't know, but Instigator, man, uh, went through the entire K1 visa process, and now his wife is with him in the U.S. and been super supportive of the channel. Real good man, real good man. He's a truck driver. A lot of the good dudes, man, are truck drivers who watch us. They'll just be driving and watching us and talking to me and stuff. And he says, Mr. Bruce, hope all is good. It's it's going well, man. It's going as good as it can go right now. We're we're just taking it one day at a time. We got a lot of stuff going on right now, to be honest with you. Like a lot of stuff right now that I can't talk about on YouTube, but there's a lot of stuff going on. We might talk about it on the other channel. Stuff that's too personal to really divulge on this channel. Akin James says, "How did you overcome the language barrier in the beginning of your relationship?" Yuri and I are very anxious to learn each other's culture, and that includes language. So um, Yuri is very good at English. Like she's been really good at English. So some of the challenges we had were like we were writers together. Like we wrote these blogs, and so her writing was kind of not that good because writing, speaking, and reading a language is three totally different things. If you've ever studied a language, then you'll know. But how we got through it, not that that's a challenge to our relationship. It's more of a business thing. But the way we got through any kind of language barriers is I just be honest with her and tell her not like here's how you do it. Like here's the structure. Here's why it's wrong. And luckily she's very open minded to learn. Right? I would correct her in a very respectful way, and then I would try to learn her language, Cebuano. I don't know a lot, but I would try to understand like where she's coming from. Like, and it's funny because Filipinas, they can speak so much of even when they're like, I can't speak well. I have nosebleed. I can't. I'm struggling with it or whatever. They know way more English than we know of Tagalog or their local language. You know what I mean? Like we know Salamat po and like Maayang Gabi is Cebuano, or like I know like a little bit of words here and there. Like, but I'm just saying that they can hold a whole conversation. So you got to kind of encourage her. Like what I would do with Yuri is I would encourage her. Like I would like her speaking has always been really good, but I'll give you an example. Like her tenses are off a little bit. The gender is off. Like she'll call he a her or a her a he sometimes, and then also her prepositions. Like this thing is on top of the stove, or this thing is on bottom of the stove, and you know why that is? Like why they have problems with prepositions, gender, and tenses is because it's different in their language. So you just have to keep that in mind. Like having learned like a little bit of Japanese and Korean and other languages, what I would learn is that the reason why they speak a certain way here, or the reason why, like for example, like when people kind of make here in the U.S. and the Western world, they make fun of Chinese people when they don't pronounce their L's, or like they'll say like instead of rice or their R's, they'll say lice, and it's because they have a soft L. So what I'm getting at Atkins is like when you understand her alphabet and how she pronounces certain vowels, you'll understand why she mispronounces certain words. Like for example, Filipinos will use some dialects will use B and V. Their B and V will be like mixed up because the B and V, but and V is so close together, and then in their language it's the same letter, it's the same consonants. So I'm trying to give you an example. P and V, P and F is another one. Like instead of panties, you might say fanties, or the way they pronounce the I is an E. or E is an eh. Or like I know my ex would say bed shit, and she's trying to say bed sheet, but she would say bed shit, you know. And it's because like the way that they pronounce letters, like the Bisayan um, consonants is totally different. You know what I mean? So they have the alphabet, but they pronounce an A as an ah, and a O as a o, and a U as a u. So the that when they're trying to pronounce certain words, they're using the way they pronounce things. You know what I mean? So just if the more you understand her language, the better you'll understand what she's saying, and you'll understand the context of her struggles. You know, and that for me that made it me trying to learn Tagalog and Bisaya. That's Cebuano and Bisaya is pretty much the same language. Me trying to same dialect. Me trying to learn those that just even a few words and just doing the ABCs in that language helped me to understand like why she was pronouncing things a certain way and helped me to communicate with her better. You know what I mean? And now she's been in the country for 5 years. Like she actually is taking on like a more English, more Americanized accent. Um, so I can understand like there's way less like language issues now. But in the beginning there were language issues. Like I'm sometimes I find myself looking through our old emails like all the way back to 2012, and I can see her English has really improved, man. It's really gotten good. Meanwhile, my Tagalog it still sucks, you know. So just keep in mind, like she has a struggle that of adapting to more of our culture. You should try to adapt more to hers. You know what I'm saying? It really helped us, me and Yuri, like really helped us to get closer. James says, Akin James says, "Wow, that's really great. Yes, Tagalog is way difficult to learn. I would, it's not really that hard, man. It's really not that hard compared to some other language I tried to learn. I tried to learn Chinese once. I gave up after ni hao, and I was like, I'm done. I'm done. Nah, this is super hard. That language is super hard for me anyway. Dan the driving man, how you doing, man? How's TV? If you guys didn't know, Dan the driving man is gonna be on TV. So how's that going, man? Like, how is it going? Please tell me. Inquiring minds want to know. He says Spanish language assigns genders to objects, difficult to learn them all. Yeah. Um, Dobby Hammer, how you doing, man? He says, "Hi, Bruce. Can your fiance stay with you in the U.S. while their adjustment of status is being processed?" Um, so I'm assuming you're talking about a K-1 visa. First of all, let me just inform you, I am not a lawyer or an approved, authorized consultant, so I'm not allowed to give you any kind of official advice. And this is not advice. This is just me telling you what I know, what I think. This is just my opinion and what I think. But having said that, if you're on a K-1 visa, I can tell you what you and I went through. K-1 visa allows your fiance. Like if you're married, this. I'm not talking about your situation. You have a whole different situation. Because if you're married, you do a CR1, and I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, guys out there watching, CR1 requires you, number one, to get married first, then go through the documentation process. Then while you're going, I think you go through an adjustment of status, but your wife has to stay in the country. So you can live with her in her country, but while you're going through the process, while she's getting her green card and all that stuff's being processed, she has to stay in her country. Now, if it's a K-1 visa, the way it works is your fiance, not married, right? Just pre-marriage. Your fiance in her home country, let's say, I'll give you an example like Philippines. When Yuri came from the Philippines, she came into the country legally on a K-1 visa, right? Which authorized her to come to the country and then get married so that we can get married within a 90-day period. So we got married within that 90-day period, and then she applied for what's called an adjustment of status, which allowed her to the adjustment of status is basically a green card. It's an application for a green card or a legal permanent status in the U.S. So I mean, I hope that answers your line of questioning. So it's two different things. Like I'm kind of explaining like the path of, if you went through, if she's your spouse, that's different. Like she can't come to the U.S. until she's done with her process. If she's a K1, the whole purpose of the K1 is once you get the K1 visa, you come here, you get married here in the U.S. Now, as for which one's better or which one you should do, you should probably do CR1. I would probably advise the K1. It really depends on your situation, to be honest with you. Because if you've been with your fiance or girlfriend for like many years and you guys have a kid and you guys have all these ties and stuff together, then I would say just go ahead and get married in her country, and then go through the K1 visa process. Sorry, CR1 spousal visa process. If you guys just met, like if you guys are just like kicked it off and you just went there, you guys had some great times together, and you're still in that lovey-dovey period with your girlfriend. You guys only known each other for like a year or two, and you're kind of on and off, but now you're serious. I would do a K1 because you still need to figure out what's going on emotionally. That's just my opinion about it. Having talked to many different couples, it's super important that you guys establish a relationship, a real relationship, and then understand like the challenges that person's going through, like because sometimes people going through some stuff that you didn't anticipate, and it hurts your relationship. You know what I mean? Like you want to know those demons before you tie the knot. That's what I'm saying. And everybody has them, man. Everybody has a good, bad, and ugly side. You want to know the good, bad, and ugly before you get married. Just just saying. So hope that answers your question, Mr. Hammer. Tony, how you doing, man? He says my Filipina loves it when I try to speak Tagalog on that chat. I know, right? Like, isn't that so like people's like really respond? It's not just Filipinos. Like when you try to speak other people's language, man, it really like they see that you try to make an effort. Except for French. Like if you try to speak French and you're not perfect, they don't like it. But any other language, like if you try to speak Chinese, well, Chinese, if you don't get it right, they're not gonna understand what the hell you're saying because they have like pitches and stuff. You gotta say it just right. But I know when I was in Japan and I try to speak Japanese to people, they understood and they're like, oh, like, you know, giving me directions and stuff in Chinese in Japanese and stuff. That was really cool. And then people's faces lights up when you just say hello or, you know, and stuff like that. And then Korean too. Like the Koreans are super cool when you try to speak Korean to them. They're like, "Wow, you know Korean?" I'm like, "No, I don't know Korean. I know 5 words." Yeah, that's really cool, man, to learn other people's culture. I wish more Americans like were more open to like learning other people's culture because it's really an honor to. It's really a way to honor somebody else's culture to try to speak their language, even if it's just hello, hi, how are you doing, salamapo, just basic, basic words even. Dan says, U.S. Army 7th Infantry forward only, Sir Bruce. Thanks for asking. I will keep you updated. Yeah, really appreciate you too and your better half. Yeah, she's much better half. Definitely better looking. I'm sure we can all agree. Mr. W says, thanks, I appreciate it. And yes, I answered it. That answered it. I'm trying for the K1 visa already. Yeah. So yeah, K1 visa. It requires that you're living together in the U.S. because she comes here to the U.S. from her home country once the K1 visa is approved, and it takes a long time. Like right now, the average time is like 8 months. Uh, so it'll take 8 months to get the K1 visa. She gets it. You get her a ticket or she buys a ticket, flies here to the U.S., shows her visa when she's going through the port of entry, and then you guys have 90 days to get married. You get married or go to Justice Peace, sign a piece of paper, get a social security number, and then I'm just kind of telling you the Cliff's Notes of what happens. And then after you got your marriage certificate, license, her social security number, boom, you apply for the adjustment of status, which is not cheap, by the way. You apply for that. She does that. She's the applicant for that. She fills it out. Do you help a little bit or whatever? There's like one form you do for the financial portion of it. You send that in. You guys are living together at this time, though. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the timeline of what happens. Atkins says, did you marry in the U.S.? Yes, or in the Philippines? We married in the U.S. Actually, we went through the K-1 visa process, and then Yuri came here. I kind of like did a formal proposal to her here, like in Denver somewhere. Gave her the ring and everything, and then we went and got married here in Colorado. And yeah, and then he says, can you share a little bit about your marriage? Oh, the marriage ceremony. We didn't really have a ceremony. What happened? I can tell you like a little bit. Like I said, I proposed like in this place called Botanical Gardens to her, just to give her something nice and everything. And I mean, I had other opportunities to propose. I kind of looking back, I wish I would have proposed we went to Thailand. It was super romantic and cool and everything. I could have proposed there. I could have proposed in Cebu. But my thing was like with our Yuri's and I situation, we were kind of on the rocks a little bit. You know what I mean? There was like a lot going on with us, with each of us. So I didn't really know. Like my thing was like for me personally. Now we had been in a relationship for 2 years prior to that, but we were like, it wasn't. I put it to you this way. I wasn't 100% sure until she got here. I was like, I'll wait till if she goes through this whole process with me, all the stress, all the everything with me. She gets here, then I'm absolutely sure that this is it, and I will propose. So she got here, and then I proposed to her in the Botanical Gardens in Denver, and she was like, love the ring and everything, and we made some great love that night. We didn't have a ceremony, but my mom. What happened was my mom wanted to meet her before we got married, and so my mom came down and met her in person, and then after mom was only here for like a week or something like that, we just went to the Justice of the Peace and got the paper, and then we went through the adjustment status. We wanted to have a formal wedding later, but we wanted to. There's just we wanted to like do it on an island or something, but that's like really expensive. I don't know. So we didn't. It wasn't super romantic, except for maybe the proposal. But that said, I mean, we went to like several. Me and Yuri, we went to Hong Kong together. We went to Thailand 3 times. We went all over parts of Philippines. Where else did we go? We used to really travel, so, and we went to like a few places in Thailand. So it's been really nice. I wish I would have done the only advice I would say is looking back, I wish I would have done the ceremony like a little bit, maybe just had my mom there or something like that. I wish I would have done it because it means a lot it would have meant more to her if I would have done that, so if you can do it, then do it. Dobby says applied in April 2019. April 2019. So just a few months ago, huh? April, May, June, July. So you got you'll probably get approved like December time frame. So April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Yeah, probably November, December is when it'll finally be approved. Hopefully sooner than that, by the way. Von Bion says, I speak Spanish, Portuguese, and Italian. I don't have any luck with any women here in America, so foreigners need to learn to speak some English as well. Man, you don't get no luck with speaking all those languages? Well, I bet you get all kinds of opportunities in with Portuguese, with Brazil. Have you tried Brazil? Because that's prime real estate right there, if you know what I'm saying. Like, Brazil is hot, man. Brazil's hot. Like, the women look really good. It's gonna be more of I don't know how the women are. I'm not sure. I haven't heard any stories or anything. But check it outside real quick. But like Brazil, man, like you speaking Portuguese? Oh man, if I was you, I'd be all over them dating sites. If I were you, I'd go to like the Spanish. Spanish, I mean, hell, that opens up Argentina, Dominican Republic, Colombia. If I was you, I'd be on all those dating sites. I'd spend some money, be on all those dating sites as a member. And then Brazil, I'd do that one. Because there's some good women over there, man, like in Latin America, who are looking for a good man. You know what I mean? They're looking for a good man, and they're no BS. Because I know what you mean. Like here in the U.S., it's just there's opportunities. I mean, women here are beautiful and everything, you know. But it's just, man, I don't know. Like I don't know, like what's going on here. To be honest with you, I just don't know. It's hard to find the good ones, I guess. Here in America, good American women are hard to find, and normally they're already taken. You know what I mean? They're already somebody snatched them up. So Derek F says, so if she comes October or November, can I get her a social security number or an alien number for taxes? Derek, I would look at your state, because some states, like for example, Instigator was saying that his state, which is somewhere around about Tennessee-ish, somewhere in that air vicinity, he's saying his state wouldn't allow him to get a social security number. But that said, you don't have to have a social security number to start the adjustment of status process. You don't have to have one. And if you want to verify that, go to visajourney.com, and yeah, they'll tell you. People will say, yeah, I filed for the adjustment of status without the social security number, because some states won't give you one. Like my state did. Colorado does. It depends on each state. Each state has a slightly different rule for it. So just look at your state's rules for it, on whether or not they'll issue her a social security number. You know, so some are very, very, very strict on it. Like the southern states seem to be extremely strict on foreigners getting that social security number. They're like paranoid or something. But it seems like the western and eastern states and some of the Midwest, they seem to be a little bit more lenient. But the southern states, man, like West Virginia and Kentucky and like Tennessee, like it doesn't seem like they're anxious to give out social security numbers. Could be wrong. I'm just stating my opinion on that. Don't know for sure. Akin James says, I see. You're really lucky. I had to travel all the way to the Bantangs. Mine was super quick because it was mayor and judge registry in the Philippines. You mean you guys got married in the Philippines? Did you do a CR1 process, or did you do any kind of visa? Or are you still living in the Philippines, Akin? Just curious. Dipsy says, hey Bruce, how you doing, Dipsy? How you doing, man? VSKR, how you doing? Brazil is hot. Especially their annual carnivals in Rio. Man, I bet those are dope. Hey, speaking of Thailand, I'm going to Bangkok in August. Why do the K1 visa? A student visa is much easier to obtain to get women over here. Depends on what country. If your girl's already a student, and you're in that lane, then it might be easier for you to do that. You know what I mean? Because I have heard of people having a student visa and then getting married, doing adjustment of status. I've heard of that. I can't speak on it. I know that there's some people who contacted us and said that they did something to that effect. They had a student visa, and then they got the adjustment status, like a legit student visa, right? They're here studying. They've been here for years working on their master's degree or whatever, and then they just happen to meet somebody, some American woman or guy, and then they got married, and then they were able to do the adjustment of status. So I've heard of that happening, but I'm not totally sure. Once again, visajourney.com. somebody there will be able to, you just search, you go to that site and then you search. It's a forum, and 9 times out of 10 somebody, more than one body, many people have had your exact same experience. But I could tell you this, it seems to be that visas really depend on the country of origin. Like, for example, some parts of Africa, some African countries, they have a real hard time with K1. So they have to, like, CR1 is better for them because and the reason why is because there's so many, like Nigeria has so many dudes who are hooking up with women on the in the West, America, UK, Canada, whatever, and then just doing like fake marriage. Like, basically it's not real. Like, they're just faking to get to the US or whatever, and then they get found out by the woman, gets pissed off, and then reports their ass. And then so it's harder for them to do a K1 from Nigeria in particular. But in the Philippines, it's like one of the easiest. It's K1. So for me, I don't know. Maybe Thailand's easier to do the student visa. This is just me. It just seems like that's the case, you know. Because when I talk to people, like a lot of people who contact us from like Nigeria, Kenya, Ghana, those countries, like the West Africa, seems like they have a hard time getting the K1, man. They get denied a lot. Seems like it's 50-50. And I'm talking about legit. These people are legit. They're really trying to go through it, and then they get denied because I think it's because there's so many people faking it. It kind of seems like it depends on the country, but that's just my opinion. Dan says, consider a second formal wedding ceremony. Yeah, I've been considering. Renew your vows to Yuri in the Philippines on my MTV show when I marry there. What are you talking about? Dan, you've been saying this for years, man. I will get the production company to pay for both of our ceremonies. Look, man, just hit me up on, you got my email address, so just hit me up. I'm not listen, I'm not judging you. I'm not saying it's not real. But you've been saying that for a long time, but you're very secretive about what's happening. So I'm just saying, like, give me some insight into what's happening. Like, what is going on? What are you talking about? I thought you were going to be a 90-day fiance, but you're talking about, is it a different thing or what is it? You gotta tell me. You gotta give me some details. Okay, it looks like some people are giving me money. Let me see. Mike T Man, Mr. Mike T Man, thank you so much, sir, for all your support. You guys didn't know, man, Mike T Man has been a huge supporter of us, of me and Yuri, man. We love this dude. Continues to support us, continues to remain positive even in our darkest hour. He was there for us. So, man, thank you for that $5. Appreciate you. Dan the driving man apparently has a production he's about to do on TV. Thanks for the support, man. I appreciate you. And Derek F, again, another YouTuber who's been supporting us from day one, man. I appreciate you so much. Let me read some more of these comments that are coming through here. Dipsy says, "Can Yuri get a U.S. passport? What does I mean her get? Oh, I mean her getting a naturalized citizenship. What does it mean?" Okay, Dipsy. So, who is Dipsy? Who is Dipsy? Do I know you? Is this Miss Dips? Is this Miss Dips? Please tell me. Is this Veronica? Or is this another Dipsy? Because we knew a Veronica, another Veronica. I mean, another Dip. So anyway, so yeah, Yuri has a U.S. passport on the way. She is now, naturalization means that you went through a process to become a citizen. So Yuri is now a U.S. citizen. So that's what naturalization means. Like, you have, as far as I know, two types of U.S. citizens. U.S. citizens who are either born here or born from an American. It's just U.S. citizen. And then you have naturalized citizens, who chose to come to the U.S., paid money, went through this whole years-long process, and became a naturalized citizen, right? And so that's what naturalized means. Yuri went through that, and now she's a U.S. citizen, so she's got her passport on the way, and be voting real soon. She got a registration to vote and everything. It's real. It's real out in these streets. Derek F says, yeah, mine in Maryland. Bon Beyond says Hispanics slash Brazilians living in America don't trust Americans. They are closed minded. I'm not saying here, man. If they're already here, then I don't know. But what you do is you 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 go on the dating sites and then you start, you look over there. Because the thing is, people are looking. Like they have needs, you have needs. They need a strong, financially stable, handsome man like yourself, right? Who happens to be American. And you need a Brazilian model who happens to have a beach body and a big ass. You guys both have needs. You fulfill some of her. You guys complete each other. So you just go online and you say your needs, what you want, and then you see their picture, and then like see if it works out. Like if you guys are fine, if you guys are emotionally compatible, and then you go from there. You know what I mean? I'm not saying here, not here in the U.S. Like I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that goes on. Like if they're already here, like you already get. There's already a lot of angst is not the right word. There's already a lot of preconceptions once you get here. Like if you are a immigrant, you come to the U.S., you start to have some. You start to you happen to meet somebody who's an asshole, like a bunch of asshole Americans, which you run into them all the time, right? Like you run, and then suddenly you have this bad perception of all Americans. Like you see the bad, you start, especially if you've been here for a while, you see the bad, the good, bad, and the ugly, and you're like, maybe you develop a mistrust of Americans who've been here longer because they say crazy stuff like go back to your home country or something stupid like that. You know what I mean? Like you meet some real assholes here, so maybe that's why they have some kind of bad. I understand why some have a bad interpretation of Americans here because we take our freedom for granted and come in like like we own the place, even though all of us come from other countries. Most of us, unless you're Native American, come from other countries, by boat, plane, or or by land. Like we came from other countries, most of us, somehow, some way. Some of us against our will. Some of us came here to find better opportunities. Some of us have ancestors who came here. Like we have different reasons, right? So we forget that we Americans who've been here for a few generations, we take our freedom for granted, and most don't serve in the military, don't go outside of the country, and think that they own planet Earth. You know what I mean? Like the world revolves around us. Like there's this arrogant mentality that we have. And this is coming from somebody who loves America. I love this country. I love what America stands for. I know we have done bad stuff. I know, man. Like, I know history. Like America has done some really bad things. Me knowing all of that, knowing everything I know about it, like the idea of it is beautiful. It's beautiful, and it's so beautiful. Other countries have copied it. It's amazing. Like the concept of what America is supposed to be is beautiful. What we have done with it as the descendants of the people who created this concept is a mixed bag, right? You have people who have tried to, people like Martin Luther King, who's tried to bring the reality of that dream into fruition by applying it to all people and not just a small minority of landowners. You know what I mean? Like there's people like Susan B. Anthony. There's people like, and it goes on and on, who try to make this dream come true for everyone. And it's just kind of like it's like a lab. It's like a lab. It's a lab where some things have worked and some things have not worked. Dan says your email address again. Is it Bruce FTW? It's Bruce Brown FTW. Let me see if I can type it. I apologize in advance. Excuse my reach as I try to type this in here. It might not allow me to. I'm on my phone, so I apologize. It's I'm trying to type on this damn thing without closing it out, and it's not allowing me to. So I must be doing something wrong. Anyway, it's Bruce Brown, all one word, Bruce Brown FTW at gmail.com. Feel free to email me. Can't promise you I'm gonna respond quickly. I get a lot of emails from different places here. All right, let me continue the read. Stop talking so much. Derek F says, so if she comes in October or November, can I get her an SSN? Okay, yeah, it depends on your state. I already answered that one. I would look up the laws of your state. What you would do is you go to Social Security office and DMV. No, Social Security office. So type. How would you find it? Go to Google. Type in social SSN for foreigner, right? In your state. I would type in SSN space foreigner space whatever your state is, and then you'll come up with information that's pertaining to your state on what you do and what the laws are. So you can also, another resource would be visajourney.com, all one word, visajourney.com, and then search for what other people have done in for your state. Remember, it's for your state. Let me see. Let me see. Where was I? We're talking to Dipsy, VSKR. So true. I haven't been able to make friends here and am a woman. This must be Veronica. You gotta get out more, man. It kind of seems like it kind of depends on the area too. Like as far as like making friends. But then this is coming from somebody who's an extreme introvert who has like one friend in the local area. I got 100 friends online, but like one friend locally. Not one friend. I take that back. I have a few really good people who I know. Akin James says, I am living in the Philippines, based in Cebu, in the U.S. citizen. Oh, Cebuano. Cool, man. Cool. How you liking it? How you liking Cebu? I love Cebu, man. I really miss it. I love that place. The people are super nice. I didn't have any bad experiences there. People were super good to me, man. I really liked it. The food was good. People were awesome. Hopefully one day I can go back and meet my extended family. Doobie says, Bruce, my fiance is from Cambodia. Oh, that's very cool. We started in 2015. We started talking in 2015. I went to see her twice, 3 weeks in 2017 and 1 month in March. Took my time and got to know her, and your channel gives me a lot of hope. Man, that's great, man. Cambodia, I would love to go. I can't wait to go to Cambodia. I can't wait. Been very close to Cambodia. We went to Ayutthaya, which is old Siam, and Thailand. We actually talked about going to Cambodia a couple times, but have not done it. We went to Pattaya and then Bangkok, but probably Ayutthaya is pretty close to. I think it's pretty close. Cambodia though, huh? That's great, man. Yeah, 2015. That's a pretty long time. So I mean, maybe you guys just go ahead and do the CR1 process. But whatever process you guys feel is right. But CR1 is cheaper. It's cheaper overall. Like if you count from green card from start to finish being green card, it's cheaper. And then also it's actually a shorter amount of time because you're going straight for the green card. Now K1 allows you to come see you faster, sorta. It's like the process is a lot longer now, so it's about the same actually. So yeah, CR1 is better. Take lots of pictures and stuff. I think they require more evidence for CR1 though. That's one of the drawbacks. Dipsy said, "What city are you in?" Atkins says, "Yes, already married." Well, congratulations, sir. Broly Khan says, "What's up? What's up, Broly Khan? How you doing, man?" This is my resident um, blurred black nerd, like myself, who's into like comic books and comic book movies and sci-fi and all that kind of nerdy stuff. And you can check out his channel. He's also a YouTuber. He said, "What's up? I have a question. If you're K1, if you K1, is it better to go to the Philippines to apply to show that you have a relationship?" So if you're doing a K1, BrolyCon, you probably already know this, but you basically have to go see your fiance in person, and then you have to prove that you've seen your fiance in person. Like you have to prove, like just give you an example of what Yuri and I did. So I went to see Yuri about 4 or 5 times, and the only reason I was able to see her so many times because I had a job that was kind of close. I was living in Kuwait for like a year and a half doing work for someone, doing security, computer security stuff overseas, and it's relatively close to Southeast Asia, so I actually just went over to see Yuri, and then so as I was seeing her, we would take pictures and stuff. So basically, K1, one of the requirements for K1, to make a short story long and a long story short, uh, one of the requirements of the K1 is you have to meet in person. You must meet in person. There's no, and you have to do it within 2 years of application. So, for example, let's say what's today, 13th, 14th, whatever date it is. Let's say it's 13th. So if you apply for the K1 visa, you the petitioner, U.S. citizen petitioner, you sign the documents, put all the documents together, and you send it in the USCIS, pay the money, 535, whatever it is. The date that you put on there, which will be July the 13th, 2019, you have to have met her within 2 years. Like that doesn't mean that you guys are in a relationship for 2 years. It means that you have seen her in person for 2 years. I mean, within a 2 year time frame. So if you go back to 2 years, so 2017, you will have had to have seen her at least once between now and 2017, July the 13th, 2017, like in that time span. Now, in that time span, BrolyCon, you could have met her in a week. You could have just been there for 2 days, took some pictures with each other, and then you left. Because there's no, I don't recommend that, but there's no like requirement on how long you met, but you have to have met within a 2 year window. I hope that makes sense. That confuses some people. BrolyCon says, Thai is not easy either. I know Thais who want people to come here. Yeah, I'll try to learn some Thai. All I know is Sawadee Ka, Sawadee Krap, and that's it. Man, I knew some other words, but they're slipping my mind right now. Let me see. Got some more questions. Dan the Drive Man says, "Support Bruce. He has helped so many." Thanks, man. Thank you so much for that donation. Dan says, "Mystery TV. Too soon to talk publicly." Man, you've been saying that for a while, man. Yeah, I'm not doubting you. Like I said, I'm not doubting you. Just you gotta let me know on email. Email is brucebrownftw@gmail.com. Email me. Tell me what's going on, man. I won't tell anybody. Shh. Our little secret. Vaughn says, Bruce, my mother is a former deportation officer. She says to apply for a student visa and marry the woman once she gets here. This process is shorter in time. Yeah, that's like I said, I've heard of somebody. Who did that? somebody from Brazil who did that, and then one other person from Africa who did it successfully, and then another person from Mexico who did it. There. I know like three people who've done something to that effect, and they had they didn't have any problems. So I've heard of that happening. It just like if you're give you an example, like we weren't we didn't have that option like for what we wanted to do because Yuri was going to school. She was going to school for a bachelor's degree, right? And it was like a quick program, one of those accelerated courses, right? Where you're just going. It's like a bachelor's degree, but it's within like a shorter time period. Which same thing I did, by the way, here in the U.S. But she went through an accelerated course, and so there was no option for her to like. I suppose if she had been doing this huge master's degree that's going to take 2 years or 4 years, 5 years, whatever it's going to take, and then they just happen to have the equivalent course here in the U.S. and then she has great grades, and then she transferred her transcripts to a university near me, a Denver university or something, and then she is able to, because you got to go through a whole other set of process to get the student visa, right? Like the student visa requires that you're registered in a school. You have to be able to pay the tuition, right? It's something like that. There's like requirements that you have to, just like K1 has requirements that you have to meet in person. You have to not be married, obviously. You got to be single. You have to prove that you've met in person, that you have a legitimate relationship. So the student visa has like certain caveats. It's like you have to have a curriculum. The school has to, you got to be registered at the school or something. I don't know, something like that. So that wasn't available for us because Yuri was already in the middle of this accelerated course where she's about to get a bachelor's degree, and then for her to have continue, and then we were already going through the K1 visa process, so it wasn't really an option for us. And then back then, K1 visa was way faster, way faster. Like ours, it took us 4 months. It would have been 3 months had we not had some difficulties with her with her health with her medical exam. It would have been 3 months, man. But now it's like 9 months. So yeah, probably student visa is way better. I don't know. KS VSKR. I'm in Maryland. Dips. I know who that is. Dips. When are you gonna visit us, Dips? Dipsy. You said you were gonna visit us at some point. Let us know. Let me know on the email. We'd like to see you. We want to meet you in person. We've been talking to you in a very long time. Dan the driving man says, what a girl wants, what a girl needs, whatever makes you happy will set you free. Bruce and me free. That's so corny. Dipsy says, Doobie Hammer, so great. So great praying for you guys. And Mike T Man put my email. That's it right there. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate you. Dan says it's up to us to keep those dreams alive and grow. Thanks. Awesome sauce. Vaughn says, sorry Bruce, but I disagree. We don't have any freedom here. It's an illusion. Just like an American dream. It's just a dream. And then you wake up and you take the red pill for Morpheus. What do I have to say about that? Am I just gonna ignore that? Man, the way I figure it is like wherever you go, you can make your dreams come true under almost any circumstances, man. It's up to you. The matrix is like up here. You know what I'm saying? Like if you think that you can't do it, you can't. And that's in any country and in most conditions. I think that there's some countries who have real problems, like North Koreans have real problems, like poor people in the Philippines have real problems. Like they have a real problem, like where they can't, I'm not suggesting that we don't have real problems here. We do. However, compared to death camps in North Korea, man, is you know what I'm saying? Like, it's relative. It's relative. But most situations, like you can make something happen in the Philippines. You can make something happen in Brazil. You can make something happen in Mexico. You have opportunities, man. You just gotta find it and you gotta go for it. You know what I'm saying? I believe that. I totally believe that. You just have to find where those opportunities are. If you have a block, and that's one of the main problems with my community, with black us. Like we don't have like, you know, and it's just man, it's the history here. Like we have a rough time here. We have had a rough time. But that said, you know, that didn't stop Obama, that didn't stop Oprah, who was raped at 7 years old, who came from poverty, who, you know, that didn't stop, you know, like we can make it, man. I'm saying we can make it, and you can make anybody. I think if you have, if if you believe you can do it, you can do it. If you find, you just gotta find a way. You know, you gotta find a way. And I'm not saying it's gonna be easy. I'm not saying that there's not gonna be obstacles. There are. All that stuff is there, but you just gotta find a way. And so that's just how I feel. So I respectfully disagree. Let's agree to disagree. I don't think it's the country itself that stops you in our situation. I mean, I think in some situations, some countries, they really do stop you. You know what I mean? They really do stop you. Um, Mike T. Man says, search immigration, immigrant visa, social security number in your state. Yes, exactly. John, how you doing, man? He said, what's up, Bruce and everybody? John's Mike T. Man says, speaking of sci-fi, Bruce, have you seen Alita Battle Angel? Did I see that? I have not seen it. No, I have not seen it, but I have the opportunity to see it. But I just have not seen that one yet. I heard it was good, so I definitely should probably spend some time to go check it out for sure. I heard it was good, but Mike, if you're saying I should go see it, then I'm gonna go see it. I'm gonna go see it for sure. Atkins says, for the guys that don't know, if you live in the U.S., you have you have to meet your spouse in person before you petition your K1. Yes, 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 yes. He's absolutely right. I suggest at least once, man, at least once. And here's the thing, like it's not just meeting for the sake of getting through the process. You need to meet them so that you can establish a relationship. And I would suggest, if you have the opportunity, if you have the capacity to do it, live with them. Like if you can do it, then live with them in their conditions for like a month if you can. Like not everybody can do that, but if you can do that, that really helped me and Yuri out. Like it helped me to see like where Yuri and I were gonna have problems. And sure enough, it was our biggest challenge. Like Yuri's a clean freak, and she freaks out and panics about stuff that I don't panic about, right? And that's, to this day, that's a challenge for me. But it's also a strength because I need somebody like that in my life to like, who's organized, who's meticulous, who's like, because that's not me. I'm not like that. I just get shit done. You know what I mean? Like I'll get it done. I don't care, you know, how I get it done. I just get stuff done, and at the end, it doesn't look pretty, but it's done. You know. So living with her really helped me to see that. Dolby, $20, man. Thank you so much. Doobie Hammer just gave me $20. Thanks a lot, man. I really appreciate you. Appreciate you so much. That's the kind of things that keeps me going here. John Chance says, "What's up, Bruce? What's up, everybody?" I already said what's up to Mr. John Chance. So let me kind of go down here. JD Krebs says, "Hey, from your friend on vacation in Cebu." Hey, from your friend on vacation in Cebu. Hey, from your friend. Who is this? I know a few people in Cebu. I wonder, is this a secret? Is this a secret Santa? JD, man, enjoy it, man. Enjoy Cebu, man. I miss Cebu. Derek F says, it says when my fiance comes here, She gets the number in 30 days email. Okay, great, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. I want to say there's another, like here we had a rule, and I don't know if this applies to every state, Derek, but we had a rule like Yuri came here, let's say, I can't remember the exact day, but yeah, I can't remember. It was like the 27th of September. So she came here 27th of September 2014, right? And like the next day, I tried to give her a social security number, right? And we hadn't got married yet. So they were like, nope, you gotta have a marriage license. You gotta have, they told me like I broke it all down. Said these, you have to have these three things. I think it was an I-94. It was a marriage certificate. She had to have her passport, uh, and I think those are the main things. And then there was one other thing, like there was like a weird rule where she couldn't apply too soon within getting here. So there were these three or four main things, but I just remember there was this weird rule where we had to wait 2 weeks of her being in country to apply. But that was here. So just kind of putting it out there. I don't know if that's gonna be relevant to you. Dipsy says, "Hey Bruce, my green card expires next year, and I'm starting to process it this December. When can I apply for citizenship?" So Yuri applied. There's a rule here. So there's a certain amount of time you're supposed to be in country to apply. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, on this one, but it's either like if let's say you came here as a student and you came from Korea, you came here from Korea, and you're a student at University of Phoenix, Arizona, wherever, and you want to apply for citizenship, you have to be in country for 5 years before you can apply for citizenship. 5 years of having a green card in country. Now, if you're married, if you came here on a K1 visa, you have to have a green card and have been married for 3 years. So, green card and marriage 3 years. So, after your third year, let's say you got married in 2016, 16, 17, 18, 16. You got married in June 17. You got married June 2017 on the 1st, right? And you got your green card like let's say 2 months later, right? Which is, I don't know if that's possible, but you got your green card in July, August, September. July, August, September. Let's say you got it in September, right? 2017. So that means that you can actually apply for US citizenship 3 years from the date you got the green card, which would be for you the 17th of September 2017. So that would mean 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. Is that right? 3 years from 2017. So yeah, so that's what that is all about. And correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Correct me if I'm wrong. Doobie Doobie Hammer says, how can we spend money to how can we send money to your channel? Oh man, I guess you figured that out. Thanks so much for that donation. John Chan says, is it better to get married in the Philippines and not the USA? The USA will honor the marriage in the Philippines. So this would eliminate the K1 visa process. Is that not better? And then can you have a wedding in the US? So I would say, John, I would say it depends on your situation, whether it's better or not. Like I said, here's my rule of thumb. And again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not this just take this what I'm about to say with a grain of salt, okay? I'm not a lawyer. I'm not an authorized consultant or anything like that. Just based on what I've seen and my experience. If you are like if you're like Mr. Atkins, who Atkin James on here, who has known his girl for let's say 5 years, and they're not married, and he is married by the way, but let's say he's not married, but he's been with his girl for 5 years, and they're super solid, and they have a baby on the way, and they have a very solid relationship, right? I think this is the case of Doobie Hammer. If that's the case, it's better to just get married in the home country of your fiance, of your girlfriend. Get married and do the CR1 process. Because, and here's why I say that is because one of the problems with K1 is this: it allows people to not know each other. Like, there's a lot of people we meet who get here legally on K1, and they don't really know their partner well. You know what I mean? They got through the process, and they were able to prove that they can financially be supported by the petitioner, U.S. petitioner. They're able to prove that they have a legit relationship because they met in person and all that. They paid the fees. They went through the whole process. They went through the interview, and they made it. They get here, and they don't really know their partner well, and that's a problem. And now they're living together for the first time, and they have all these challenges. Like, they're seeing the bad and the ugly side of the person, which everybody has. But can you, as a marriage is pretty serious. You know, you're sharing your life together. So we met many people, not just several, like many people who came here very quickly with the K1 visa, and then very quickly regretted it because this person that they're with is not is not serious, you know, or they're serious for the first year, and then after the glow is gone, the glow of the new relationship is gone, they like quit, right? We know a lot of people that happened to. So to answer your question, John, is it better to do K1 or CR1, marriage or fiance? Depends on your situation. I would say if you have a super solid relationship that's gone on longer than 2 years, and you guys have a kid, you guys have a joint account together, and you guys have gone through bad times, but you guys are super solid, I would say CR1 is the best way to go. Because by the end of the CR1 process, so with the CR1 process, the con, there's pros and cons. One of the cons to it is that your fiance has to stay, your spouse, because you have to get married first to do CR1. Your spouse has to stay in country until the end of the process. But after that, they can come here and they get a green card when they get to the U.S. So there's a pro and con to it, right? They have to stay there. With the K1, it's your fiance, and you, like with a fiance, you're not. It's a newer relationship, and you guys are kind of working things out. It's serious, but it's kind of like, can she survive here without her family? Is there going to be issues? Like, you don't know. So she comes here to the U.S. You guys hit it off or whatever. Then you have to go through the K1, the green card process. The green card process for us in Colorado, took over a year to go through, and it was way more money. So in other states, it's maybe not that long. It's like 6 months. We've heard of it lasting as long as 8 months. Ours was over a year. So CR1, you got married first, but she has to stay in her home country. But by the end of it, when she finally comes here, and it takes like 9 months, when she finally comes here, she gets a green card. K1, she's your fiance. You guys are not married yet. She comes here, you get married here. That's why you have a K1. The K1 is a fiance visa that you have to get married within 90 days of her arriving. So the cons of that one is, first off, it used to be short. It used to only take like maybe 6 months was the longest. The average time was 4 months. Now it takes 8 months for her to come here. Then when she comes here, the bad thing is the green card process takes another year. It takes more time. So actually, CR1's way better. Way better. But only if you know your spouse really good. Only if you know you guys have a solid relationship. Then it's really good. Let me see. Thanks for that, Mr. Mike T. Man. Appreciate you, man. Daniel, how you doing, man? He says you guys are awesome. I agree. Doobie Hammer says click on the dollar sign. Okay. M Sway says, I'm finding a lot of Filipinos have a lack of mentality and low self-esteem just by experience because all the majority of them see poverty for so long. Um, that can be what you just said can be misconstrued in a negative in a very negative light. But the way I would put it is that Filipinos in particular have a really hard time in the Philippines. Um, really hard time in the Philippines. Uh, it's just not like here. Why do they have a hard time? The laws aren't in their favor. This is just my opinion, guys, so take it how you want it. But the laws are not in their favor. I'll give you an example. So it's the exact opposite of how it is here with women. So, like here, if a woman has a baby in the US, the guy is obligated to take care of that child. Not only is it in the law, but it's enforced. And that's the key. It's enforced. If you have a kid and you don't pay, you're considered a deadbeat dad, and the law will chase you, and they can even put you in jail. They can garnish your wages. They take it very serious in every state. In the Philippines, if a Filipina has a kid with a Filipino Filipino guy, that guy could just go do whatever the hell he wants. Now, in the law, I believe it states that the guy is supposed to, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know Filipino law, but I believe it says that guy is obligated to take care of that kid or has some kind of authority and responsibility for that child. However, it's not enforced that they have to pay anything or take care of them. So the Filipinas, what's happening there, pretty consistently. And man, if you want to have this debate, if you want to talk to me, you want to educate me, please do, please do. Maybe I have a misconception, but it seems like the laws are not in Filipinos' favor because the Filipina is stuck with a kid. That's probably not the right words I should use. More like they had a kid and this guy's not supporting her, and now she's financially obligated to teach. The kid is there, but the guy is off with another girl. So there's a couple things working against Filipinos. Like, well, number one, there's way more women than there are guys there. So a guy has 2 or 3 girls to choose from. Girls are fighting over dudes. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Please, I want to have this debate. Number one, there's women outnumber the guys. Number two, the guys have no obligation to take care of the kid. So she's stuck with the kid. And another thing, and this is a big one, you can't get a divorce. So the reason why that sucks for the women is because what happens a lot of times with Filipinas is she gets married, has a kid, guy leaves. There's no law that forces the guy to take care of the kid, right? They can if they want to, but it doesn't. There may be a law, but it's not enforced like here. So, and then she can't get a divorce. So she wants to move on with another partner. She can't get a divorce. Legally can't get a divorce. Now there's ways around it. Like you can get an annulment, but an annulment costs like $5,000. It takes 2 years to do. $5,000 USD. That's a lot of money in the Philippines. So essentially, it's most people can't afford it, and it's a 2-year process. You got to pay lawyers off and judges and all kinds of crap. And then also another way around it is I believe Muslims in the Philippines can get a divorce. But there's just so many things, and also you can't get an abortion. Like if let's say you had this, it happens. Like okay, I mean I understand people want to talk about this, but you have sex, you didn't use protection, or maybe you did, it didn't work. Now you have a baby on the way, and the guy is off with someone else. It was a one night stand. So all of those things are against Filipinas, and plus the Filipinos are kind of like the rock of the family. Like there's a lot on their shoulders. They're expected to like take care of the whole family. It's just a lot, man. It's a lot. So I understand like their plight is hard, man, and that's why so many of them go outside of the country because it's just not fair for them. And I'm surprised nobody talks about it. There's this dude named what's his name? He's got a great channel. I mean, I fundamentally disagree with him a lot about a lot of things, but he's got a great channel. Like it's really well done. His name is oh man, I haven't seen it in a long time. Strange. His name is a Filipino dude who I believe is an American. He's either Canadian or American, but he does these videos about Jared Strange. No, it's not the right. That's not the name. I can't remember his name, but he does these videos about extreme poverty in the Philippines, and one of his pet peeves is Filipinos marrying foreigners. Right? He tries to discourage it. He hates foreigners. He tries to discourage it, and the thing is, he actually is a national from another country, which is weird. But he hates when Filipinos are with foreigners and how foreigners are going there and kind of taking the women there and stuff. And I'm like, dude, like, look at what's happened to the Filipinas. Like, look at the laws. Look, the laws are not in favor of Filipinos at all. It doesn't help them. That's my theory. That's why I think that they have such a like they have a lot to a huge load, and that's not to make an excuse on why some of them have such a low self-esteem, but I think that that contributes to it. To be honest with you, they have a lot on their shoulders, and they're not um, they don't get the level of respect and that they deserve from the government. They deserve a certain level of protection. They don't get it from any part of the society there. And that's just my opinion. I know people are gonna be pissed off by what I just said, but it's the truth. Juan says, Bruce, in America, you have to pay for a license to marry an individual. I mean, mine in Colorado, it took $1. It was $1.25. It was $1.25 for them to basically that was the price of the paper. It was the price of the paper, man. He says, which means you have to get permission to form a partnership with the one you love. Yeah, I mean, I don't know there is permission as much as it is registering with the county, with the county clerk. I don't see it as quote unquote permission. I think for probably gay marriage is permission because they're not allowed, literally not allowed to have a civil union in some places. Well, that's how it used to be. So yeah, that was permission, which is crazy. But in this country, there was a time when it was illegal for a black man to marry a white woman. Like in some states, it was illegal. And that took permission. I don't think that I don't think you should have permission. But mine, like I wouldn't say here in Colorado, going to the county clerk's office, it wasn't permission. It was $1.25, and that was the price of the paper and the person to sit down with us and put it and type it into the system. That was it. James Grice says, "What's going on, Bruce? How you doing, James?" James JD Krebs says, the one that was getting married on the 4th, remember? Oh, congratulations, man. How did it go? How was the marriage? How was the ceremony? Did you have a ceremony or how did it go? Vaughn says, so what's quote unquote free? It sure isn't death or taxes. I don't think anything's free, man, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm not a huge fan. I think that capitalism has real problems. But I don't think anything is free. You know what I mean? Like we all rely on one another to pay roads, to have running water, to keep up the infrastructure of your local community. I don't think any of it's quote unquote free. I mean, what's free, I guess, from a I mean, like if you put tie taxes into it, it kind of I don't know. That's not. I don't think that's what they mean. I think free, for me, freedom of speech, uh, freedom of the press, freedom of protest. Those are important things to me. They're super important to me. Freedom of religion, freedom to have the religion you want. I think that's what they mean by quote unquote free. Um, let's see here. M Sway, Derek F says, M Sway, my fiance says that 500,000 pesos is expensive for a container house in Bohol, Philippines. John Chance says, I will be visiting the Philippines February 19th through March 2nd. Is it a good time to visit? I made my reservations for Cebu and Mandarin Plaza Hotel. Should I buy my plane ticket now or wait 12 weeks out of September? Man, this is a real good question for Yuri, because I don't know. I know there's like a rainy season, but I don't know what it is. Somebody here knows. When Guys, somebody here knows this. When is the best time to go to the Philippines? So John says he's going in 19th through the 2nd, and he's wondering what's a good time to go there. He asks, is it a good time to visit? So I would think about like rainy season, like when does it rain there? I believe it's in the summer, like right now is rainy season. So I think probably February through March is a good time. Seasonally, it's going to be pretty hot there, but at least it's not flooding. The streets aren't flooding. He says, I made a reservation for Cebu in the Mandarin Plaza Hotel. I don't know nothing about that hotel. And should I buy a plane ticket now or wait till 12 weeks out? I know that what Yuri does when we buy tickets is she buys them, like the further out you buy it, the cheaper the tickets are. The closer you get to the date, the seems like the higher the ticket goes. There is a period when all the tickets are higher all the time, but what Yuri does to get the tickets really cheap is to buy them out as early as possible. That said, if you know your plans are going to change, you probably want to do it closer to that time frame. But what Yuri and I do is buy them way out, like I don't know, 4 months out, like as far as we can go out, as soon as we know. You know what I mean? That's what we do. Um, Derek, somebody else give me a donation? Damn, thanks, man. Oh, Markel TV gave me, get this, guys. Markel gave me 15,000 cop, which is Colombian pesos. Is that what it is, Mark? I don't know what that is. 15,000 cop, which came out to approximately $4. Damn, that's a strange rate. Man, I gotta go to Colombia. Damn, look at that exchange rate. That's insane. You must be living like a damn king up. I'm jealous, man. Markel, if you guys didn't know, Markel TV, uh, my my top resource for all things veteran related, um, especially related to veteran disabilities. And guy used to be like a VSO or something. Dude knows more than anybody I've talked to about the VA. If you happen to be a veteran, like, you definitely want to go check out Markel TV. But he also talks to expats who are in Dominican Republic. He knows a lot about that. He was there for years. And then Colombia, I would definitely talk to that man. All right, go subscribe to his channel, check him out. And thank you, sir, for that 15,000 Colombian dollars. Damn. Okay. Let me see. Where was I? Before I was so rudely interrupted by Mr. Markel TV. Let me see. Doobie Hammer says, do you guys stay in touch with Lily Petals? I saw you guys together one time, but I haven't been on your channel in a while. I was hoping. Yeah. We talk to her every now and then. Like, she's like our mentor on YouTube. Every now and then she'll call us and we'll talk to her and stuff. She'll give us advice on what to do, which direction to go, or just to say what's up. Like, she's really cool. Like, meeting her, I'm telling you, like, what was off camera is that she's a really very smart woman. Very, not just smart. I mean, like, that's not, like, doesn't do her justice. She's very independent, I think. I was so impressed with her. Like, she is such an impressive person. Because oh my God, I wish I could. I don't know how much. I mean, it's all on her channel anyway. But she's such a good. She's amazing. Lily Petals and her husband and her kids are amazing people. But Lily Petals, like, I mean, I just want to give you one thing about her. Like, so what impressed me the most about her is that when she married her man, who's from Kenya, a lot of people didn't agree with it. You know, they were not cool with it in Korea because Koreans are very homogenistic. Like, I'm trying to find the right word. They're very, they're kind of into their own. You know what I mean? They they prefer that you, if you're a Korean man or woman, they greatly prefer that you are with a Korean man or woman. I'll put it to you that way. Um, so she was up against that. She was really in love with this dude, and she's very serious about him. And people were, everybody, including her parents, were not okay with it. They were not okay with it. But she, like the way she did, if you watch her early videos, is very telling because she's so positive. She's so positive with the way she presented her case with this man she loved that she turned everyone around. Like not every, maybe not everyone, but most of the people, she turned it to a positive, and that's her, like that's her superpower. She's so positive. She's able to like spin things into a positive in a way that she make a great politician. Like she make a great like organizer, like a community organizer or something. Like she has a real skill, man. Like she's not only is she super smart, but she's super she knows how to like spin, like not spin, but like she knows how to color people's perception in a positive light that turns their eye. She knows how to influence and persuade people like I'm not seeing many people know how to do. She's amazing. Yeah, but every now and then, to answer your question, we talk to her every now and then. Make, when we had that viral, we talked to her. She actually called us. That's how viral it was. She contacted us like, "Hey, what's going on? I see you guys all over the internet and stuff." And we talked to her for a bit. Yeah, but she's really cool. We got her personal number. We talked to her. Like I could call her right now if I wanted to. She's super cool. We met her husband and everything, and a few other folks. Ours Place, how you doing, man? Um, Derek F says it's a house built from shipping containers. What? What are you guys talking about? I must have missed that conversation. Uh, Derek F. Mike T Man says Derek F. What I've learned from my Pinay is he thinks, excuse me, is he thinks of money different from the way I do as far as what is expensive and what is not. Oh yeah, man, that's very true. Derek F said, I mean, Mike T Man says, Derek, what I've learned from my Penelope said the same thing there. That she thinks money is money is different from the way, yeah, very different, very different. That was a big, big deal for me and Yuri, like to get through. Like the way she thought about money and the way I thought about money. So different. So different. And now we kind of met each other halfway on that. Kitten Vision says, "Hi everyone, how you doing, Kitten Vision?" Randy Jr. says most people in Pinas are more happy, cheerful people regardless of economic situation. Yeah, I agree with that. Yep, that's very true. I think like having, I think maybe here in America, like, and I know it's like the same thing in Japan and Korea. Once you get into this, one of the bad things about, I don't know, I can't prescribe why, and that's what I was about to do. But I'm just gonna tell you like it is. This happens in Korea, Japan, Tokyo in particular, and America and some other Western nations. I noticed like the more we cling to things and the more hedonistic and materialistic we get, and I'm not a religious person at all, but the more it seems like the more materialistic we get as a society, the more unhappy people become. In the Philippines, they don't have much, but they're happy. Uh, they seem to be more happy than we are. Overall. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, people here can be happy, but a lot of people compared to the Philippines, like you would think they'd be like depressed and No, like you'd meet little kids who have nothing and they're happy. You know, you gave them a dollar and they're super happy. They're just not as. Is it that they're not as materialistic? I don't know, like what it is. I'm not sure. It just seems like Western civilization, like the more materialistic we become, the um, more sad people are. You know, seems like it. I don't know. Mr. Mike T. Man says, yes, you can get a divorce for about 20,000 USD. I thought it was only 5,000. You fam, how you doing, fam? He says, what's going on, Bruce? Went to ICE. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. If you saw last week's episode, Mr. UFam got a visit from ICE because his I-94, his wife's I-94 expired, and ICE came and knocked on his door and got an interview with him. Why? You might ask yourself, is it because there's an illegal immigrant in his home? No. Mr. UFam went through all of the proper procedures. Mr. UFam paid all these thousands of dollars that we're paying for, went through the whole process. His wife legally went through the whole process, came here. Mr. UFam, as a matter of fact, married his wife within 90 days. His wife applied for the adjustment status. So you might be asking yourself, why is ICE coming to his door asking him, an American citizen, questions about his wife who is legal? That's a great question, I would say. Okay, let's see what Mr. UFam says. Part 2 of the legacy of UFam. Okay, he says, what's going on, Bruce? Went to ICE. He had the interview. And he says, they're holding my wife's passport and have to go back next month. Wife says they are going to release the passport next visit. Wow. That is insane. Guys, listen, Mr. UFam, I hope that you took my advice and you contacted your congressperson. And the reason why is because you are a U.S. citizen, okay? As a citizen, you have the right to petition your wife to come to the U.S. What they're doing, I mean, they should, I mean, I hope they have probable cause or some reason for doing this, because you went through the whole process. You went through everything legally. Why would ICE bother you? An American citizen who's simply exercising his right to bring his wife, his fiance here, who's now his wife. I just don't understand. I don't understand what they're doing right now. It doesn't make sense. There's plenty of actual illegal immigrants that they could be busting, that they could be knocking on their doors or doing all the kind of investigation that they're supposed to be doing. Instead, they're bothering the U.S. citizen. That's where my tax dollars are going, to bother other U.S. citizens. I'm sorry, guys, but it makes me mad. It makes me upset. One of the issues that I have with this country that I love a lot, by the way. The idea of the country. I don't like everything we do. I don't like everything our government does, I should say. Guy on Girl says, what's up, Bruce? Guy on Girl TV, how you doing, man? I was supposed to contact you back, man. I apologize. We are going through a lot right now. A lot that I can't discuss here on YouTube. Big Rob says, hi, everyone. He says, I'm glad I made it here. Big Rob, how you doing, man? If you guys didn't know, Big Rob is a real wrestler with a real channel and writes real books. The man, we met him in person in North Carolina. It's a good dude. Huge. He's a giant. He's like huge. Big Rob. They call him Big Rob for a reason. Mr. Mike D. Man said, Bruce, guy's channel is Mark Nowhere. Mark Nowhere, that's the channel right there. Yes, that's a great channel. Very negative very much against foreigners, by the way. But great channel. His content's really good. It's almost like Viceland. If you've ever seen one of my favorite channels, Viceland, it kind of has that feel to it. It's very real, very gritty, very grimy. shows the truth, not just like the bad side of the Philippines, but basically he does show a lot of the poverty, extreme poverty, and his mantra, like what he's trying to promote, is that we as Filipinos, that's how he addresses it. We have to come together and we have to change our government so that we can make this better, so we can help people who are destitute, who have nothing. And I really respect that. I really do. Don't agree with him about like death to all foreigners or whatever he's saying, or that Filipinos shouldn't be dating foreigners. Like he's super negative against it, but his channel's dope. Definitely worth checking out. Mark LTV says, "What's up? How are you doing? How you doing, Markel? Thanks for that donation, sir." John says, "Guess who's coming to dinner? Movie changed the law in USA for black and white to get married. It was illegal in 38 states before the movie. Wow. Just learned something new. I didn't know it was illegal in 38 states, and I didn't know that movie had that big of an impact. Um, wow, that's incredible. Shout out to Mr. Tibbs. The following year, the year that the law changed, Sidney Poitier. Wow, that's incredible. Dan the driving man says, if the Filipina, a daughter, woman, female, um, that was wanting to marry needs parental approval, that's wanting to marry needs parental approval in my area, if she is 23 years old or younger, mine required a baptismal certificate from my church. Wow. Whoa, that's crazy. 23 years old, grown ass adult. Akin James says, April, June, always the best time to visit, the Philippines. I thought, oh, maybe I'm thinking June, July, August is the rainy season. Derek F says September because it's the rainy season. Oh, September isn't the best time to go because it's the rainy season. Okay, maybe it was September. Maybe that's what I was thinking. And like the rain, you would think, oh, it's just rain. But what happens is the streets flood, and then sometimes you get hurricanes. and sometimes they're really bad. Really, really bad. Dan the driving man says, in my last divorce decree from American court of law because before marrying. Akin James says, why April, June, no rain? Oh, you guys are talking, okay. Dave MCK says, Dave Mack says, hello everyone. Hello Yuri and Bruce, how you doing? Yuri's at work, that's why she can't make it, and Yuri's kind of taking a break from YouTube at this time, so that's what's going on with Yuri. And that's why, girl and guy, that's why we haven't been able to do the interview, because Yuri's taking a break from YouTube right now. Like we release videos of some of that stuff is stuff we already recorded a while ago. So John Chance says it's summer season in those months. Okay, you guys are still talking. Dave Max says my wife is Filipina and she's still currently there until I bring her here. So you guys planning to stay here, Dave? Oh, I'm just curious. You guys plan to stay here, or are you gonna go there and like retire, or make a life there, or here, or both? Melvin Dan says, Bruce Yuri channel on marrying a Filipina and how do they think is the best video? Yuri points to so many strong and 100% women hated on it, but I was very true. No comment. John, Mr. Vaughn says, Bruce, I'm a helicopter pilot, and is there a strong opportunity for me to work there in if I relocate in Cebu with my Thai wife? So I'm assuming, Vaughn, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're not staying in Thailand because of that new law that passed? something about like they made it super hard for expats to stay there now. So now you're thinking about going to the Philippines. I'm not sure about the opportunities for helicopter pilots, but if I were you, there's a site that you can check called careerjet.com. I think careerjet.com might be able to help you out with that. Go careerjet.com. Um, Go there and it has like a location. I believe it allows you all over the world. Like there's jobs all over the world. That or Google. Just Google helicopter pilots in Philippines. Um, you might, and what'll happen is you'll. I'm just guessing, but again, but I'm thinking what'll happen is when you type that into Google, it'll come up with the top job search site, and go to that site and then search for more pilot jobs. That's how I do it. It's one of my little tricks. But careerjet.com, I think if you go there and type in helicopter pilot and then put in Philippines, you might find some jobs there for that. Because I'm thinking you might be able to find a job as a pilot because that's such a rare skill. You know, it's such a highly sought after rare skill to have. I'm not sure though. So, UFam says, by the way, Bruce, is there a way I can email you uh, to give you further details? Yes. It's unfortunately I can't type here. I'm having some issues with that. I'm on my phone, but and I can't. I'm clicking the button and it's not allowing me to type for some damn reason. But yeah, if you contact me at Bruce Brown FTW, all one word, at gmail.com. I can we can talk. That's Bruce Brown FTW at gmail.com. All right, where were we? About to wrap this up real soon, guys. We've been talking for like almost 2 hours. Rob, Big Rob says, "Hey Derek F, thanks for the shout out." Um, Let me see. Oh, Dave Max says, "No retirement for me. I'll still be working when I'm 90." Yeah. LOL. I'll bring her to the USA and then probably move to Canada. I gotta check out Canada. I'm not sure. Canada. I gotta check it out. Are you guys in Colorado in CO? Yes, yes we are, sir. I will be in Aspen in a week for several weeks. I was stationed in CO Springs once. Aren't we all? There's like 6 bases here. Love that area too. It's very nice, very pretty. Doobie Hammer. Oh man, Aspen is. Did we go to Aspen? We went to Vail. We didn't really go to Aspen. Vail's beautiful. It's beautiful. You're gonna love it if you've never been there before. Vail was incredible. Very beautiful. Super expensive. Doobie Hammer says, "I really feel like." Man, I don't like talking about this dude. Do not like talking. It's nothing good that comes out of it. Nothing good comes out of these conversations. Nothing. It's just so negative. Um, Doobie Hammer says, "I really feel like Trump is hurting the immigration process terribly with the slowing of the process and extreme vetting. What are your thoughts on how things are being done with this administration?" I really don't want to. I don't want to get into it, but I will say that this for K1, as far as K1 visas are concerned, that wasn't the Trump administration. According to Yuri and I just had, when Yuri went to her USCIS final interview for her U.S. citizenship, what the immigration officer told us was that the reason why K1 visa process takes so long, and you should have seen our file. He brought out our file of all the documents we'd ever given to him. It was like a phone book. It was like this thick. It was all of our evidence we'd ever given them. It was her medical. It was from day one, like the first form I filled out and sent to them. It was that all the way to the very last form that I sent for the for that she sent for the 10-year green card. It was everything, all the evidence. So it was like a phone book, like that thick, a file, like huge. I was like, that's all our files? Like, yeah. And then we were like, man, that process took so long. And he said, he just kind of offhandedly mentioned, kind of made a joke about Trump, but then he said, yeah, it wasn't that current administration's fault, because this started back during the Obama administration, and the reason why is because he said, according to the immigration officer, is because there's so many false claims and so many fake marriages and fake fiancés, that they had to start cracking down on the whole process. And actually, that, to validate what he said, it really started slowing down like in 2015, 2016. It really 2016. It started really slowing down. Um, and then 17, 18, it's just been really slow. So that's my opinion on that portion of it. As far as everything else, man, just watch the news, man. Just watch the news. That's crazy. Pretty crazy what's going on. Von Beyond says, yes, I know about the law preventing Americans from living in Thailand, so I am definitely looking at living in the Philippines to allow my US dollars to stretch about a lot further. Have you considered, there's a couple other countries I heard like most expats are looking at: Cambodia, Vietnam, and I think that's the only two that I heard that people are kind of like really eyeing. Oh, Philippines, of course. But those three, man, a real smart move from a government in Southeast Asia would be to like open up to make it easier for foreigners to come there and spend their money, because that's a lot of money. That's a lot of expats trying to, because what's happening in the West, like in America in particular, is that it's harder for retirees. Even in Europe, it's harder for you retirees to live on the economy, because there's such a gap between how much you make versus how much the dollar or the pound goes. It just doesn't go as far as it used to live on. So what expats are doing is they get their pension, they've worked 30, 20, 35 years, whatever, and they're only making, say, $2,000 a month, right? You can't live in the U.S. on $2,000 a month. I mean, you can, but not, comfortably. And they're going to the Philippines, they're going to Thailand, they're going to Cambodia, and just living there, because on $2,000 a month in Cambodia is not bad. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. $2,000 a month in Philippines is, you can do okay with $2,000 a month. $2,000 a month in Thailand even is not too bad. It's kind of expensive, but Thailand recently had this law where they made it harder for expats to live there for a long period of time. So that's kind of what happened. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. We kind of stay up on Thailand because we really like Thailand. We've been there many times. And Vaughn says, wait, hold on, did I skip something? Vaughn said there is some new law recently enacted by the Thai government which now prevents Americans from living in Thailand. I want to say, now you can correct me if I'm wrong, you guys can Google it real quick, but it's like they basically made it harder. Like they said that if you want to live here, number one, you have to have a decent health care already, like from your government, which makes sense. They don't want to foot the bill on foreigners in their country. They don't want to pay for people who are, I mean, if you're contributing to the economy, but whatever, that's their rules. So they're saying you have to have your own healthcare plan, right, Vaughn? Then another thing is you had to have an X amount in the bank, like a lot of money in the bank. I don't know what it is, but it's like a lot. And then I want to say it's more expensive to do it now. It's something like that you have to have a lot of money like in the bank. So now I think you have to have a certain amount of money coming in, your income, your retirement actually has it, and it's like more than most like can do, something like that. Ancient Aliens Andy, how you doing, man? Long time no see. I've been seeing you pop your head up on Facebook, but I'm not on Facebook a lot. I see the alerts pop up, so I see you on there. Doobie Hammer says, thanks, Bruce, for your time and answers. I'm out of here, but I will be checking you guys out on your channel as usual. Have a good one. You too, man. Thank you so much for your kind words. Thanks for participating in this conversation, and thanks for your donation. Really appreciate you, man. Really appreciate you. Ancient Aliens Andy says, what's up, my friend? Long time. Yeah, I've heard about the new rule for foreigners there. And Marcus says, has something to do with money. Have to have more money. Yeah, have to have more money. That's right. Something to that effect. Yeah, I've been busy, getting old and working. LOL, missing your videos and the live chats. Have you I don't know how to say this. How's it going, man? How's it going? Did you ever hook back up with your ex, or is that something we shouldn't talk about? What's going on with that? You moved on? Are you looking elsewhere? Have you met anybody else or anything? Mike T Man says, "Hey, peace, love, and blessings. Gotta roll. See you later, Mike T Man. Thank you so much for your donation, man. I appreciate you. Thanks for moderating too, man. Thanks for moderating. Really appreciate you, man. That really is helpful, by the way. Like giving people my email and all that kind of stuff." Andy says, "I'm fine. Nah, she moved on. So have I." That's good, man. Don't dwell on it too much. Like just move on. Do something better, man. Once you find somebody better, it'll eclipse anything you had with her. You know what I mean? She was patient enough for me. Wasn't. You mean she wasn't patient enough for you? Marcus says, hang loose. Man, I've been talking for about 2 hours, guys. I think I'm gonna cut this thing short. Cut this thing long. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for all the donations. Thanks for the great conversation. Thanks for bearing with us while Yuri is out. I'm taking a break. Thanks, Vaughn. Great conversation, man. And all the people. We don't have to agree. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not always about agreeing. Sometimes about sharing our thoughts with one another. Educating. Some people educating me, as a matter of fact. John Chase says, thanks, Bruce. And Vaughn says, Bruce, I will contact you on your email to find out how to send you a donation. Man, thank you so much, man. Thanks. You just participating is thanks enough, man. You don't feel obligated to send anything, man. I appreciate you. How's work? Wow, that's a great question. It's a really good question. Bruce, all right, Bruce. So nice to participate in your chat. Have a good evening. Over and out. Thanks, everybody. Great conversation as usual. Really good stuff. I'm out of here. I got to get back to cleaning and stuff. Then I got to go pick up Erie here real soon. Talk to you guys hopefully next week. Hopefully, let's do this again next week. See ya.